What's going on, guys? Today's video, I'm going to be going over Luminar and how to edit portraits. I've been doing a lot of portraits for my wife's real estate company. They've had like 10 new agents start, and so I just went to town one day and met them up and shot all their portraits, and I've been slowly editing them as the agents tell me which photos they like. And so today I figured I would edit one live and kind of talk you through and walk you through the process of using Luminar and all the powerful tools that I used to quickly edit these. Matter of fact, it doesn't typically take me too long. It might take me a little bit longer in this video as I'm explaining it, but let's get right into this thing. What's up, guys? If you're new here, my name is Paul, and I run a channel that inspires other creators that your future is whatever you make it. I do that through gear reviews, tutorials, and today, like I said, we're going to jump right into Luminar Neo. I am a huge fan of Luminar Neo, and I've actually already have a shot here open up from one of the agents. So obviously a raw photo. I shot at f4, which probably should have shot a little bit higher, just because I knew I wasn't going to keep the background. I didn't care about background blur. I had two key lights on each side, and then I had two background lights lighting up this background, but I knew I was going to blow it away, so I wasn't really particular. It was a little wrinkly, and so I knew I was going to remove it immediately, and I just figured, why not? Let's just shoot in something in front of something white, just to kind of let the agents kind of see what it might look like ish edited when I show them the camera. So and it just, you know, it's easier to remove a solid background than it is with a bunch of other stuff in the background, although Luminar does a really good job, which you'll see here. And I think it's actually harder to remove white in some instances, because if they're wearing white, the software, sometimes you gotta draw it in anyway. But this software is great. I got this shot right here. This is Henry. The first thing I do is I want to kind of get this, and I use the develop tool, and I kind of bring up my exposure, just, you know, to where everything kind of looks a little bit normal. Looks like I did undershoot that one a little bit. I was supposed to be shooting 4 portraits, and I ended up shooting a group of like 11 people. So it ended up being, my batteries died on my key lights. I was not planning on being there that long that day, but it worked out fine. First thing I like to do in these is I like to go do some super sharp, just sharpen the image, especially since I'm going to be doing some things, and I don't go too crazy, so I'll just do a low. And I love Luminar AI. This is one of the extensions. It just goes, analyzes the photo, and boom, it adds in it just adds some boom, some crispiness to the photo. So I immediately just go in here for these, and I've been doing that first. So after my image, I get my base like exposure set. So this is the image with like a light super sharp added. Looks pretty good. Then I go down into the face. I like starting to just to get their face looking proper. So I'll go down to Face AI, and this is a great tool. It automatically knows where the face of the subjects are in your photo. So I'm just going to crank this up, and you just eyeball it. You just do whatever you feel looks about right. All right, so that's that. This is before, this is after. So add a nice pop to his face, and you could like slim their face if you really want to, and just bring him down. But I'm not going to do that to him. I'm going to make him look a little, you know, normal, like what he normally looks like. But still, when you look at, I mean, you check, if you don't go too crazy, I mean, this completely looks normal. Like, you could make your clients, I mean, maybe I will do it for this guy. I don't know. But anyway, so we'll just leave that alone for now. You can add like iris flare. So let's just zoom in here, and then you can clearly see kind of some of the things. I'll just go super drastic so you can see what it looks like. So super big iris flare, and we're just gonna, I like to add a little bit of pop to their eyes. So I'll add a little bit of flare. And then you could like enlarge his eyes. So like, you know, this is all the way obviously, and the software kind of just makes their eyes bigger. And if you know it was really far away, you can kind of see it a little bit better. You know, blink, normal eyes, super enlarged eyes. I'm not going to mess with that too much for these particular edits. Eye whitening, I do like this. So, all right. And then eye enhancer just enhances those eyes. All right. And I'll do a little bit of red eye removal, so it removes just some of the redness in those eyes. You could also do dark circles removal. This kind of like removes like the dark circles around their eyes. I'll just go dramatic so you can see kind of what it does. You see like all the darkness that was around his eyes just kind of went away there. All right, so and this is what it looks like originally. You can see some of the darkness. So I might, for this photo, I might add a little bit of that too. Just I don't know. I don't want to go too crazy. I don't want it to look too unrealistic what he looked like, but you could, remove it a little bit. And you can even improve eyebrows. Like, it kind of like thickens them up. And for the most part, I just do this for, females. I won't really mess with the males too much, but so we'll just take that back down a little bit. We're going to go to mouth. I'll definitely add a little bit of lip saturation there. You can also increase the redness. I don't do that too much for the guys unless they have really pale lips. And then you can also do some lip darkening. So it darkens them a little bit. With guys, I do very subtle stuff. I just want to make them pop a little bit, but I don't want them to look like they're wearing lipstick or something like that. Teeth whitening is great. I usually crank that up because who doesn't want their teeth whiter? Unless you already have like super, super white teeth, which, I mean, this guy's teeth isn't too bad, but we'll leave it completely whitened there. So this is kind of like where my starting point is there for my face. That's pretty much it for face AI. Now, skin. You notice that there are imperfections in our skin, and I think you can't really get away with it. But for these photos, I really like this tool. I'll even go remove skin defects, as this tool is called. And notice I don't know, you can see how it kind of clears up some of the skin. It does look a little bit, I don't know, blurry in some areas. So if you are zooming in, you can't really tell from far away. But as you zoom in, depending on how zoomed in the picture is, you might not want to do that. But either way, let's just, we're gonna zoom this up a bit. And if you did want to, so say you wanted to, I don't know, remove some skin defects, you could go up to like this erase tool. The erase tool is amazing. And we'll just lower the size there. And so point, highlight what you want, hit erase, and boom, it's gone. So like there are things that you can do to clean up the face. And if you wanted to, you could even just mask over like pretty much everything here and get the same effect, and it could look possibly cleaner. This one, I guess this one might struggle a little bit because of that facial hair. But here we go. So let's just go for some removal shine. I kind of like removing some of the shine from the lights, and then we can just create this all the way to 100. See how drastic that is. I kind of like that. It does clean the face up a little bit and doesn't like add as much blurry spots to it. So like before and after, it does remove enough. Like you still want that nice like face that's not super fake. So I think this looks great. I might bump it down a little bit just to make it more realistic, or you could leave it all the way. I mean, I think it actually looks great all the way up because it's doing a great job of cleaning up stuff without making those blurry spots. So anyway, we'll just leave that here. I like that tool a lot for portraits. It just works. And you could go in for body and mess with the shape and all that stuff, and it really does some interesting stuff, kind of like the face thinner. But for today's sake, I'm not going to. But the HighKey is another one. If you don't do if you're not in a great lighting situation, this can really help. Now you can see you lose a little bit of that saturation in the face, but don't worry about that. We'll go back and fix that later. And then you can just bring in some of that you can go in the black areas and increase the blacks. And it really fills in these areas on his legs that the light wasn't really there. So this HighKey does a really great job of just adding even more light. And then what I do is I go back up after that. I add whatever lightness I want, and I will add back my saturation, so it brings back that saturation in the face, but you still get a nice bright subject. And I like to add a little bit of vibrance, depending on what clothes they're wearing, to helps make that kind of just pop and but the saturation kind of brings back the skin tones in his face and his hands that you kind of lose when you do that high key. So I really like this. This is a great starting point here. And then just some extra little nuances that this has. Remove the background. So you have a great background removal tool. A lot of photo softwares do, and they do a great job with it. So you go to layer properties, you go to masking, and you go to background removal AI, and this will analyze the image and just kind of see where everything is. Now, typically, I know that there's a few corrections that it usually kind of misses these smaller areas between the arms. Sometimes it's hit or miss whether it'll get it. I think with a white background, it makes it hard, like I said. So we'll see what it comes up with. But usually it does a fairly great job. And as you can see here, it got it this time. All the red is the masking. I just might have to correct this small little area under the arm, but other than that, looks great. You hit remove, and it does its thing. Boom. So now I'm gonna go into this. You can go to refinements for the brush, and this shows you everything, the transitions, the object, and the background. So what I typically do is for the object, I'll just go back in here. I don't know why it did that. And it's okay to leave some of it because it's like smart transitions between like the white areas. So it's not like abrupt and you can't tell very much, and this looks pretty good. So now I'm going to get the background. I'm going to zoom in here and reduce the size of my brush. And for this particular, it got like everything here, but then this particular area, it somehow missed. It's got a button there, so it did a really hard job. So all I do is I just kind of color in this area here with the brush, and you have to be super precise. It usually does a pretty good job of taking the area. I mean, sometimes all it takes is like one brush stroke, and then when you let go, it kind of analyzes that area. Now, if I want to get really close and try to get like in between this section here, I don't know how that button is really close to this. So we'll just see what this does, and you can just close that tool, and it see how well it did. Now it did a fairly good job. Now you can see here there's still some refinement that I like to do there. It didn't quite transition as smoothly as I want, but you can just go back in here with this brush and color in. Right here as so. And that. And when you close this, you get a nice preview of that. So it did a great job of cleaning up, and you're not going to really be able to tell too much there. I do kind of notice that there is actually some right here, so we could even go back in here and go to this background and reduce the size of this, and just draw in a small line right here, and this will probably be enough for it to get that area. See, boom, right there. So that's cool. Did a great job there. Go back now, and it did a fantastic job of removing the background. I cannot complain with that. And then what I typically do is I have like a white background layer. You can, like I said, you can import your own images and all that stuff. I got a white background, and then I bring it all the way up and drag it to the bottom, and boom. Now I got a nice white background, and the only thing I do is I take my develop tool and just bring down the exposure a little bit so it's not like super punchy white, but there. Just down a little bit, and you got a nice looking white background. Looks fantastic. One of the last things I do is I go to enhance AI. It just adds a nice little pop to the picture. I usually don't go too crazy. At about 30 or 40, drag it up. So let's go to 40. See, it just kind of like adds a little bit of pop to the photo. This is before, this is after. It just kind of messes with the lighting. It kind of messes with some of the colors a little bit, but for the most part, it just makes the photo pop. So that's, I don't go too super crazy on it. And then we're gonna go to Structure AI and kind of like, I like to use this tool, which you typically only use it in landscapes. A lot of people don't think about using it this way, but the pants look really noisy and kind of distract a little bit from the photo. Some of these like suit jackets and pants, they have like a weird texture to them, so it kind of makes it look a little blurry. So what we're gonna do is kind of try to reduce that a little bit. So we're gonna go to Mask AI, and it should find them a lot faster now because we already did a Mask AI earlier on his to remove the background. So I'm gonna go to Human and select that, and it finds him. It does a really great job. I don't know why it didn't find this one spot, but like everything else, you can just go to the brush tool and just paint that back in there. And then here too. I don't know why it didn't find it there. And then what I like to do is I'll take the same mask tool, and everywhere I don't want to affect, so I don't want this to affect his face or his like regular shirt, I'll just unpaint all this stuff, or his hands. And you don't have to go like super detailed, or you can go as detailed as you'd like. Pretty much his pants are the only thing that's selected here for this mask. So we're gonna go back to the adjustments. I'm just gonna bring down that structure. You can kind of see it's taking a little bit of that like edge off his pants. So they're not like a little bit distracting there. See that? And then off. It's a very subtle change, but just little subtle things just make your photos even pop more. So that's before. This is after. You can even bring it down some more. Like the problem if you go too low, you'll just completely lose the design there of his pants. So I don't want to go super low, but I don't want a lot of that like busyness in his pants. I want the focus to be on him and not his pants. So it's a nice little tool there to use just to add some more fine stuff there. And I think this photo looks great. This is a great example of everything that this could possibly do. This is the before, definitely, some lighting work and everything, and this is after, and just really pops and really punches there. And I love this software. You can zoom in, you can see his skin. It looks great. There's still a lot, even the details in these pants. My software loads fast enough. It's all there. It's all still, super sharp, but we're just, it just adds just that pop. I love Luminar and these portrait tools that they have. And there's just so many other things you could do. I didn't even touch the base with like color harmony or, any of that stuff. Is you want to, if you're doing non-portrait work where you want to blend more of your atmosphere and all this other stuff for landscapes. But this is just a tool. This is just a small portion of everything this can do. And you can see I did it fairly quickly today, but it would be a lot quicker if I wasn't having to explain it to you. And as you use the software, you get faster. So these are just great tools to use in Luminar for portrait editing. I hope you guys have got something out of this video and see how intuitive and easy this Luminar software is to use, and you get some awesome, great results that are very professional. It would probably take me hours to do in Lightroom or Photoshop. I have solely switched to Luminar for my photo editing. I can't tell you the last time I've opened up Lightroom. So this has been an amazing tool. Hope you guys like it. If you like this video, let me know in the comments. Like, subscribe, do all the fun YouTube things. And you guys know that I will see you in the future.